Hello, peaceful brains and peaceful brains in training. I'm Kathryn, and this is my friend, coach, and yoga teacher, Benjamin. And today we have a special offering for you. In the spirit of autumn, we are going to be slowing down, resting deeply, and trying to release some things that no longer serve us. And in this video, Benjamin will be guiding through some restorative yoga poses, and at the end, I'll be guiding a visualization with elements of Yoga Nidra. For the Yoga Nidra portion, I invite you to cover your eyes. You might like to use an eye mask or a pillow. And behind your head, you might like to use a small pillow or maybe a pillow from your bed. And as Yoga Nidra is a practice in stillness, your body can get a little cold, so you might want to prepare a blanket to cover yourself. And Benjamin, what might people need for the restorative yoga poses?
Well, it's a good thing. I think I'm going to be pretty well set up for the Yoga Nidra because for restorative, we're going to need some similar things. I kind of like to think of restorative as the unconventional materials challenge from Project One Way, one of my favorites. And you'll see I don't have necessarily yoga specific props over here. So what I invite you to do is grab some blankets and some pillows for today's practice. We're going to be using I think two of each. And your pillows a little bit on the thicker side. Your blanket can be, we're gonna make it into some shapes. So anyway, a couple blankets and couple pillows for restorative yoga today.
Okay, great. And I actually have a very big bolster wrapped in a blanket, so it's double duty. I guess if I get cold, I can just roll it on top of myself.
Extra credit. Perfect.
So that sounds good for both sections.
All right, so before we get started, if you'd like to take just a couple moments and gather whatever you may need for today's practices, you can go ahead and pause this video now. And I should say I'll be demoing the restorative yoga on a yoga mat today, but really all you need is some kind of soft surface. This could be on workout mat, on the carpet. You could even roll out a blanket, just something to give you a little bit of support. So with that, go ahead, pause this video, and grab whatever you're going to need for today. All right, welcome back. Happy to have you all here. Really excited to guide you all through a restorative yoga practice today on the themes of transition, change, and letting go as we really sink deeper into the fall season. And this is so much of what restorative yoga is about and why I love it so much. If you haven't done restorative yoga before, we're going to do the entire thing sitting down, and a lot of it laying down. There will be no downward dogs today. All right. We're not going to be doing any of that. Restorative yoga is a practice that helped me learn how to relax. And to relax means to rest deeply, but with full awareness. And even though we're not going to be doing as active a practice today, the challenge can be in relaxing and in letting go. And can you allow yourself to go to that place where you can just be? And so that's what we're going to focus on today: transition, change, relaxation, and letting go. So we're going to start here in a comfortable seated position. I am in Sukhasana, or easy pose. My legs are crossed. I invite you to go ahead and start grabbing some of your first props. If you would like, you could grab a blanket and you just want to give it a little bit of a fold. And what you're going to do is position it here. And I'll be facing you all this way towards the long edge of my mat, but of course you could orient and rotate whatever direction you need to. And if you find you have tightness in your hips, it can be beneficial just to come sitting here on the edge of the blanket, give yourself a little bit of support. You could also come back completely against the wall and use a wall for support. And then I also invite you here, if you find you're having tightness in your hips or your hamstrings, if you're finding your legs are like this, you can just take some pillows and then prop them up under your knees here. They don't have to match. They can be whatever pillows you have. And so if you find your knees are up here, start to build yourself a little fort to support your knees just so that they begin to rest, to relax, to let go, and drop into stillness. So this will be our beginning posture here. As our restorative yoga practice today is one of my favorites to help us prepare for yoga nidra, for meditation, and for pranayama as we really focus on the breath. So come into your comfortable position. Place one hand on your heart, one hand on your abdomen, and through your nose. Just begin to take some deep inhales and deep exhales. We're going to stick with this for just a little bit as we connect with our bodies, connect with our breath, and begin to relax. And the breath practice I offer you today is Ujjayi breathing. It is my absolute favorite yoga breath. And so if you find this practice challenging, if you find your thoughts just won't stop coming, that's okay. That's how the mind works. So I invite you today to make your breath louder than your thoughts. And for an Ujjayi breath, you will take a deep inhale through the nose, deep exhale through the nose with a slight constriction in the throat. And so the sound is going to be like an ocean wave, as if you were listening into a conch shell. Your breath is the sound of the waves. Continue with your natural breath, Ujjayi breath, for another couple of cycles. And then on your next inhale, want to raise the arms up. And on your exhale, plant that right hand down and just do a side bend as you exhale to lengthen. Inhale to rise up. Exhale as we go down to the left. Rise up on an inhale. And on your exhale, we're going to take a twist, planting that left hand on the right knee. Your right hand goes behind you. As you begin to rotate through the spine, your gaze goes over your right shoulder. Inhale to come up. Exhale as we twist to the left. Inhale to come up, and we'll go through this cycle 2 more times. Exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale, Exhale, side bend to the left. Inhale to come up. Exhale, twisting to the right. Inhale to rise. Exhale, twisting to the left. Inhale, one more cycle. Exhale, side bending to the right. Inhale to rise. Exhale, side bend to the left. Inhale to rise. Exhale, twisting to the right. Inhale to rise. Exhale, twisting to the left. Inhale, coming back to center. Beautiful job as we start to bring some movement and send our breath into the spine. Now I invite you to extend your legs, give them a little bit of a break, and we're going to pump the quads to bring about a connection with our heart. Start stimulating, bring some blood flow into our heart. We're just going to squeeze the quads on an inhale and then exhale. Let it go. Inhale to pump and strengthen. Exhale, release. One more time. Inhale and exhale. All right, bringing those legs back in to our cross-legged position as we just now do some gentle neck circles. On an inhale, dropping your chin down to the chest. Continuing with that inhale, bringing your right ear to your right shoulder as you complete your inhale, as you rotate toward the back. And then on your exhale, complete that cycle, left ear to left shoulder, chin to chest. 2 more times on this side. Inhale to the right. Exhale to the left. Inhale to the right. Exhale to the left. Switching directions, inhaling to the left. Exhaling to the right. Inhaling to the left. Exhaling to the right. One more time, inhaling left. And exhaling right. All right, bringing the head back neutral after you've completed that third revolution, that third cycle. And we're going to do a little bit of hip opening before we move on to our backs. And so to do this, I'm going to ask you to come into Baddha Konasana, butterfly legs. You're going to bring your legs at kind of a diamond shape. The soles of your feet are going to be pressed together as we start to open up the hips here. And you can see when in cross-legged position, pretty neutral here. When I come into this position, I have some tightness. So for me, I'm going to bring in some support under my knees. Your hands can be behind you if you would prefer to have some back support and open up your chest. You want something a little more calming, or if this is more comfortable, you can place your hands on your feet and lean forward. As you continue with your inhales and your exhales, your Ujjayi breathing.
I have a question about breathing that some of
Yes.
our viewers might also have. Sometimes I find that I'm holding my breath in
Mm.
between and waiting for the next instruction to breathe in or breathe out. What advice could you give to people who are holding their breath and experiencing a little bit of tension in this practice for relaxation?
Sure. I would say that's, yeah, totally normal. I mean, it happens to all of us in practice for sure. So if you find yourself waiting, kind of like hanging on the edge in a sense, waiting for that next instruction, whether it be what to do with your body or what to do with your breath, I invite you to do whatever feels good for you in that moment. If you need to go ahead and take a breath, please do that. If you need to do something different with your body, maybe do a stretch or something, do that. This is really a practice to connect you with your breath and your body and do what feels best for you. So you can think of me today as your guide for this, but ultimately I want you to do what feels best for you in the moment. So if you're waiting for that next cue, see what your body is telling you. What is your body asking for in that moment, and go with that. All right. So on your next breath, you can just gently bring the legs together, scoot those pillows, if you are using them, out of the way. And for the next series of postures, we're going to do 3 different back bends to start opening up, bringing some more awareness to the spine and really opening up the chest here, connecting us even more to the breath. So for this, you're going to need a blanket and play with it a little bit. If you have a yoga blanket, you're going to kind of want to fold it in thirds. This is something I grabbed that's really comfortable that a friend gave me. So we're going to use this, and you want it about this thickness. I'm going to say it's about 1 inch or so of blanket thickness. And the first thing we're going to do is start to open up the upper part of our spine, working on the mid back, the thoracics right here, our connection to the chest. So we're going to come laying on our backs. And you're going to want this fold of the blanket right here in between your shoulder blades. So you can see on my body, yeah, that's about where it is. And let's see, I need a little bit more thickness. So double this up. Okay. There we go. And your head is going to rest on the floor. If you find you need some support for your neck, you can go ahead and grab another pillow or a blanket to give yourself that neck support. Your legs can be fully outstretched. You can have your soles planted on the mat, on the ground. You can come into a butterfly position with your legs if that's comfortable to you. Whatever feels best. So here in this supported back bend, placing one hand on your chest, one hand on your abdomen, continuing with your deep inhales and your deep exhales. And through this series of supported back bends, we'll be doing a body scan to see where you're holding tension in the body, starting with the face. See if you can unfurrow the brow, relax the jaw, drop the tongue from the roof of the mouth, Close your eyes if that's comfortable for you and your body. And continue to breathe. And on your next exhale, you can bring your soles of the feet to the mat. Kind of roll over onto one side as you just gently press yourself up. And we're going to change the position of the blanket, moving it down just a little bit. So now it's going to be positioned right here, just below your shoulder blades, is where we're going for. Okay.
I'm experiencing a lot of cracking.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
My
Me too.
back and like my collarbone. That's never popped before.
Ah, interesting. Maybe it was the neck circles.
Yeah.
Okay. Make sure you have some support for your neck if that feels good. Bring your legs into whatever position feels best. You can continue placing your hands on your chest and abdomen. You can open them to goalpost arms like this. They may or may not meet the ground. That's okay. You could outstretch your arms overhead. Whatever feels best in your body. And on your next exhale, begin to slowly bring yourself back up. And we will go into our last position here in our supported back bends. And then we'll move into our final pose for this practice before we go to Yoga Nidra. All right. Keeping that fold or roll in the blanket this time, we're going to be supporting our lumbar vertebrae, the lower back right here. There's a natural curve there, so I'm hoping this is going to feel really good as we give that natural curve in your back some support. So bring the blanket right up here to the edge of your tailbone. Gently recline back, supporting your lumbar vertebrae. Bringing that pillow to support your neck, if that feels good. And then sinking into whatever variation with your arms and legs feels best to you. Continuing with the body scan as we check in with our shoulders and our chest, sending the breath to the deepest reaches of the lungs, dropping into stillness and relaxation a little bit more with each breath. We've opened up the hips and the quads. If you're holding any tension in your legs, I invite you to let gravity and the earth fully support you here as you let your legs just fall open. Let go and relax. Your next inhale, start to bring a little bit of movement back into the legs, into the upper body as we come up one final time in this restorative yoga practice and move into our final posture, which is going to be a supported child's pose, which should feel, I'm hoping, really good. We just did 3 nice back bends. So because yoga is all about balance, now we're going to do a forward bend. So gather whatever materials you have. I'm going to play around with this variation at first. What we're going to be doing is coming into a wide-legged child's pose, where from this point of view, you can see my legs are going to be spread. You can be up on your toes. Your feet can be flat like this. They can be touching apart. We're just creating this space right here as we will do our forward bend and come down into a supported child's pose. So, I was never the best at folding. Luckily, it's not required. All right, so start to build up your pillow fort. I'm going to try this to start, as this is really going to help us get again into our hips that we've been working on a little bit already, and opening up our spine even more. Okay. So here we go. Coming into that child's pose with the legs here. As you start to drape forward and literally hug whatever you have built for yourself, bringing the head down on to rest on either side. You can gaze in either direction as you then close your eyes. Continue with your breath and drop into stillness. Continue breathing deeply. I'll call you out in just a bit. Take 2 more deep, full cycles of breath, perhaps your deepest all practice. And on your next inhale, gently bring yourself back up, pushing your props, bringing them to the edges of your mat, the edges of your space, coming back into a seated position as we begin to close this part of today's practice and transition to the next part. Bringing hands together, palms facing in at heart center, dropping the chin, closing the eyes, just taking a couple more breaths here, honoring time we spent together today, honoring your body, your mind, and all the amazing things both can do. Blinking the eyes open, bringing the head back to neutral. I will save the namaste for what is the conclusion of today. So as we now, on the theme of transition and change, move into the next part of today's practice.
Well, I'm feeling very centered and I loved all of that breathing. So I'm ready to transition into our meditation portion. And I invite you to lay flat on your back. And you have lots of options for support. And if you are very comfortable with Shavasana, you might like to just lay and use this time to let your body settle and adjust. But I definitely recommend using a small pillow to support the back of the neck and the head. And you might use your props for the supported child's pose and actually bring those underneath your knees. Mm-hmm. So if you're laying down and you have some tension in your low back, if you put something under your knees, it will help ease that.
That's wonderful. That's exactly what I'm going to do, Kate.
All right. So I'll give you a few moments to get into position, and if you decide you want to use an eye mask or get a blanket, this is a time to get yourself really, really cozy. All right, everyone feeling comfortable?
Yes.
So this practice is a guided visualization with elements of Yoga Nidra woven in, and it's an invitation to rest deeply, to replenish yourself physically, emotionally, and spiritually. As we visit a peaceful autumn forest and witness the trees dropping their leaves, perhaps you'll find a perfect place to release any thoughts or emotions that no longer serve you. Making yourself as comfortable as possible, taking a moment to adjust any props, adjusting the way your clothes or blankets feel against your skin. And this is an invitation to rest in stillness, but know that you're free to move and shift positions at any point because your comfort is the most important. Let's begin. It's a beautiful day to see the colorful autumn leaves. Would you like to join me for a walk in the woods? I know a winding path through tall trees, wide enough for two friends to stroll side by side. Follow me. As we step into the woods, the light becomes softer. Rays of sunlight filter through a patchwork of orange, red, and yellow leaves, giving the forest a magical glow. Looking up, you admire the canopy of colorful leaves. And you begin to sense the warmth of the sun on your face. You watch the leaves dance as a breeze blows through the branches. A few leaves fall away, lovingly released from the trees. They swirl gracefully down to the forest floor to rest. You continue along the path, stopping here and there to notice vignettes of natural beauty. Tree roots growing intertwined like delicate lace. Tree roots growing intertwined like delicate lace. Smooth stones covered with patches of bright green moss. Smooth stones covered with patches of bright green moss. Fern fronds bending towards each other like distant lovers longing to touch. Fern fronds bending toward each other like distant lovers longing to touch. New growth flourishing, protected by a fallen tree. New growth flourishing, protected by a fallen tree. As you continue walking, the path opens into a clearing with a magnificent oak tree in the center. Its generous branches extend in all directions in a stunning display of symmetry. The leaves are bright reds and orange, calling all of your attention to this wondrous sight in the center of the clearing. The tree seems to call out to you, "Come, my child, this is where weary souls come to rest." A space between the roots is revealed, just the right shape for someone to lay down and rest. And so you accept the invitation. Laying on your back, you feel the firm ground beneath you. It receives the weight of your body effortlessly, so your muscles can rest. And you become aware of softness too. Moss and leaves cushion your body. It feels like the ground contours perfectly to the shape of your body, inviting tension to melt from your limbs. You sense the tree and the earth holding you securely. A mother holding her child in her arms. Resting in this embrace, we'll take a few deep breaths. Taking 2 sips of air in through the nose and sigh out on the exhale, like this. In, out. Continue at your own pace, and as you exhale, could you imagine tension draining out of your body? And one more sigh, in, out. Feeling secure and comfortable here, your awareness shifts from the earth beneath you to the sky above you. You notice patches of blue sky peek through the canopy of leaves. You watch patterns of sunlight and shadow move across your body. The golden sunlight seems to illuminate certain parts of your body. Following the golden sunlight, we'll move through a body scan. As you bring attention to each body part, notice any sensations there, or perhaps the absence of sensation. Beginning with the right foot, golden sunlight shining on the right foot, guiding your attention to the top of the foot, sensing the tip of each of the toes, the bottom of the foot, the ankle, the lower leg, the knee, the thigh, the right hip and the hip joint, the whole right leg filled with a soft golden glow. The golden sunlight moves to illuminate the left foot, sensing the top of the foot, the tip of each of the toes, the bottom of the left foot, the ankle, the lower leg, the knee, the thigh, the hip and the left hip joint, the whole left leg filled with a soft golden light. Your awareness filling the pelvic bowl, sensing the dense bones, sensing the soft tissues, sensing the lower belly, the navel, the solar plexus, the heart center, the back of the rib cage, the front of the rib cage, the whole torso full of sensation, full of awareness. The whole torso pulsing with golden light. The golden sunlight falls across your right shoulder, drawing your attention to the right shoulder. Along the arm to the elbow, the forearm, the wrist, the back of the right hand, the palm of the right hand, the thumb, and all of the fingers on the right hand. The right hand and the whole right arm filled with a soft golden light. And shifting your attention to the left shoulder, noticing sensations in the left shoulder, moving down the arm to the elbow, the forearm, the wrist, the back of your left hand, the palm of your left hand, the thumb, and each of the fingers of the left hand. The left hand and the whole left arm filled with a soft golden light. and the rays of sunlight collect at the top of your head, warming the top of your head, warming your whole scalp, noticing sensation through the back of your head and through the scalp. The right ear and the left ear, the golden light warming your forehead, warming your closed eyes, sensing the right eye, sensing the left eye, the tip of your nose, the upper lip, the lower lip, noticing sensation in the jaw, becoming aware of sensation inside your mouth, awareness flowing through the whole body, the head, the arms, the torso, the legs, feeling the back of your body, feeling the front of your body, aware of sensation throughout the whole body. Now bring your attention to the breath, noticing the sensation of air as it enters your body, drawing in cool air, and notice the sensation of air as it leaves your body, sensing the warmth and humidity of that air with the exhale. Begin to observe the rhythm of your breath, noticing the length of each inhale and each exhale. No need to shape the breath or change it in any way, simply observing your natural breath. Begin to count the breaths down from 10, like this. Inhale 10, exhale 10, inhale 9, exhale 9. Going at your own pace, and if you get to 0, begin again from 10. Release the counting and allow your attention to drift, continuing to notice the sensations of your body and the sounds around you. You might also welcome feelings, thoughts, or memories that arise. Could you trust your body to use this time to heal and to release whatever it needs to? Give yourself permission to rest until you hear my voice again. You wake from a beautiful dream under the mother oak tree and notice the sun is low in the sky. You feel that it's time to return home. You gently stand up and place your palms against the bark of her tree and whisper a thank you before you leave the clearing. Following the path home, the sounds and the scents of the woods begin to fade. You step out of the autumn forest and you return home to your own space. Begin to feel the support beneath your physical body, drawing your awareness back to the room around you. And listen to the sounds in your room. What do you hear near you? What do you hear in the distance? Welcome these sounds to anchor you back into your physical space. And when you feel ready, begin to flutter the eyes open and trace the edges of your physical space. The ceiling, the walls, the floor around you. You return and you are fully present back in your physical space. But know there is a standing invitation to return to the forest and rest with the mother oak tree anytime you wish. And begin to wake your body. You might bring small movements to your fingers and toes, wiggling the toes, making circles with the wrists and ankles, and taking some time to reawaken the body, bringing it back from this rest and stillness. If it feels nice, you might stretch. You might also want to contract your body. Might feel nice to bring your knees to your chest and give a gentle rock back and forth. And begin to bring yourself back to a seated position. Practicing Yoga Nidra is a little bit like going into a dream world. So it may take a little bit of time before you're fully alert and ready to continue with your day. So please give yourself some time to integrate this experience. You might like to stay on your yoga mat and do a little more stretching, or you might like to write in a journal, or maybe even go out in nature and take a little walk. Just know if you're still feeling sleepy and a little bit slow, that is a totally normal response to Yoga Nidra. And in a few minutes, you should start waking up and coming back to your senses. I'd like to thank you very much for joining us today and dedicating some time to rest. My favorite part was the second backbend just below the shoulder blades.
Mm-hmm.
That was a really beautiful moment of release and opening for me.
And I think it's only fitting the pillow I was resting on. A best friend is like a four-leaf clover, hard to find and lucky to have. So
Oh,
thank you, Kate, for inviting me to join you today. And I really enjoyed that.